This is Walter at Violent Series. Today I will show you how to install the trigger for the Ego9, 10, and Geo2. It comes in three different designs. First we have the Vicious Edition blade trigger, the scythe style, and the deuce. All made of Delrin, have a radiused front face there, really comfortable. Let's go ahead and install this one here today. Put these aside. Now what you'll need is you'll need 3 wrenches, a 1/16, a 5/64, and a 1/8. You can find all these wrenches in the tool tube that comes with your marker. And we'll go ahead and on the right side, get ahead and take the grip screws off. Go in and pull the solenoid wire out and the eye wire, the connector. Go ahead, for ease, just take the macro line off. 1/8 wrench. Remove the front frame screw. And the rear frame screw. Carefully pull the two halves apart. Guide the wires through the top there. Set the body aside. Alright, and then we'll take our 5/64 wrench. And as you can see, there's 2 screws on the top there. Not the one for the trigger here yet. The front 2. So we'll take that out, set it aside. Take this one out here. And the trigger will just slide right out of the top. Now we'll go ahead and use the bearing carrier and of course the spring and the pin. And what you'll need to do is take your 1/16 Allen wrench and screw on the top of the trigger. Just give it like a half a turn just to loosen it up. Go ahead and take that. A little pin in the center there. Go ahead and push that through. Remove the carrier and the spring. Now we'll go ahead and take Violent trigger, the deuce one here. Go ahead, install the spring in the back. The carrier, easiest way to remember, it's shaped oddly. You'll be able to see the magnet, the large diameter from the top there. And we'll definitely just sit right down on like that. Go ahead and take our pin, guide it through the hole. Now one thing, because the trigger actually sits to the side in the frame here, if the pin is poking out the right side, it will actually bind or rub on the inside of the frame. So what you'll want to do is when you slide that pin in, just definitely want to make sure that you push it and that it's not even sticking out. Sticking out the left side is fine, just not the right. We'll go ahead and tighten that screw down on top. Check that again. And if you want to go ahead and adjust the spring tension, just also takes a 1/16 wrench. Just go right through the hole, right down through the spring, and you'll find the Allen wrench in there. Of course, backing it out and unscrewing it will back the screw up and tighten that spring. So as when you get your pull, a lot of people like to take and get less magnet resistance when they initially pull the trigger. but you still will want some spring return to kick it forward to prevent bouncing and so forth like that. So you can get that fine-tuned and adjusted there. Just go ahead and take our trigger, and you have to watch out for the micro switch here. What we'll do is slide the trigger in through the top. Usually keep an eye on this stuff right here. I want to slip right past that. Make sure that, you know, you'll see right here if you go down that, or the switch is forward, you see how you're going to bind and people are going to force that down. So definitely angle the frame back and push it in. Once you've got that down there, you'll be able to look. See that you're on that side of the switch. All right. Go ahead and take our screws. For now, just kind of guide them in. I don't tighten them down yet. It's kind of important part. I mean, there's several reasons that, you know, trigger may not feel correct. And the first being is the pin that we talked about. You know, if you tighten this down and the pin is touching the side of the frame right in here, then, you know, the trigger would feel like it's binding, it's not working correctly, and so forth like that. If also you look, I don't know if you can see the little gaps of light on both sides as I kind of move the frame around there. You can definitely, you know, force the trigger and bracket to one side, you know, and tighten these screws down, and suddenly, you know, it'll feel like it's binding. So what I like to do is just kind of get it free there. Just kind of let it into its own spot. And once you tighten that down, if you want to check again, you know, at this point, you want to check that gap. You can see the light on both sides to make sure it's free. Go ahead and feel the trigger, make sure it's nice and loose. There's nothing catching or binding. And once again, if it is binding, it's either going to be the bracket location or the pin on the side. Once that's in, that's it. Now, if you want to adjust your tension on it, now would, you know, definitely be a good time. You know, if you want to take the magnet, all the set screws for adjustment are the same as the stock trigger. You know, if you want to back the magnet off, if you want to go ahead and give it some more spring tension toward the back, set it up however you like. Go ahead, slide that back through there. So when you put this together, it feels like it's binding or it doesn't go together. And this one here is because the hose, the bottom, needs to slide through that channel there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it together. Since it's not totally going together, we'll just take an Allen wrench. And you see that hose in there, and we'll just kind of push it toward the other side, and it'll kind of possibly, maybe not. There we go. Guide itself into that channel over there. Put our frame screws back in. Solenoid wire connected. High wire connection. Make sure that you move the wires out of the way. Then you'll be able to go in and adjust. You know, if you choose to use the micro switch, make sure you go through the menu and the hardware and put it on a micro switch so you'll be able to use that. If you do use the optical eye, you know, you'll adjust everything around that. And installation for all three triggers is the same. All the adjustment points are the same. Of course, it's just going to be that different feel that you want. This stuff assembled. And that's it. I have it.